Amidst the desolate expanse of the cracked wasteland, a sapphire-scaled behemoth sprawls lazily atop a glittering hoard of treasures. The cavernous lair, encrusted with luminescent crystals that refract the dragon's azure hue, scintillates in the eerie azure glow. Stalactites drip with condensation, creating a rhythmic, haunting melody that matches the dragon's deep, rumbling breaths. The smell of ozone and sulfur lingers in the air, hinting at the elemental fury contained within the slumbering beast.
I survey the majestic but dangerous scene before me, my eyes narrowing at the intricate play of light on the dragon's scales and the precious treasures beneath it. Slowly, I raise my hand, summoning a small, controlled flame to float above my palm. I believe a little heat will lure it away from the horde, I murmur, aiming to draw the dragon's attention with a harmless flickering flame far from our current position.
I silently position myself between the party and the dragon, raising my shield in a defensive stance, while whispering, "Keep your blades ready. If that flame don't work, we'll need backup plans."
I crouch low, moving into the shadows cast by the crystals. With a wink to Thoradin and a cheeky grin, I whisper, "I'll see if I can snatch something shiny while Pyra plays dragon bait." I begin sneaking towards the horde, eyes peeled for any minute movements from the dragon.
I bend to one knee and softly press my hand against the cold, damp ground, whispering a prayer to Kelemvor. I cast silence in a wide area around the dragon, ensuring any sudden noises from our party or the slumbering beast will not awaken it prematurely. Silence tempers the chaos, as death tempers life's fire, I murmur.
The sapphire-scaled dragon stirs, its nostrils flaring as the flame from Pyra's hand dances in the distance, casting flickering shadows across the cavern. Its eyes, like molten sapphires, snap open, their luminous gaze fixated on the flame, drawn by an unseen curiosity or instinct. In the silence conjured by Seraph, the dragon's massive form shifts, displacing the treasure beneath it with a soft cascade of gold and gems. Wisp, in the cover of shadows, takes this moment to inch closer to the horde. The dragon's sharp, elongated claws carve shallow grooves into the rocky floor as it begins to lumber towards the harmless flame, an electric tension simmering in the air.
I watch the dragon start to move towards my flame, then subtly increase the intensity of the fire, letting it pulse rhythmically to keep its focus. As it moves further away from the horde, I whisper, "Keep going, big guy. Just follow the light," leading it farther from Wisp and the treasure.
I maintain my position, shield raised and eyes scanning the cavern for any other threats. I glance toward Wisp and Pyra, whispering through clenched teeth, "Push it a bit more, but don't overdo it. One wrong move and we'll have a storm of scales and fire on our hands."
I take a deep breath, glancing at the slowly shifting dragon. Seeing my opportunity, I carefully select a small, glittering gem from the edge of the hoard, trying not to disturb the other treasures, and slip it into my pocket.
I continue to focus on my prayer to Kelemvor, quietly expanding the area of silence to ensure the dragon remains unaware of our presence and that Wisp remains undetected. In the embrace of death's silence, we find our path unshadowed by chaos. I whisper softly.
The dragon's attention fully captivated by Pyra's flame, it surrenders its reclining position and starts lumbering invariably toward the flickering light. Each ponderous step it takes reverberates through the cavern, sending faint tremors through the crystal-encrusted ground. Wisp successfully pockets the gleaming gem without disturbing the rest of the treasure. But as the dragon closes in on Pyra's flame, a sudden gust of wind from its wings scatters the treasure, causing a cascade of clinking echoes even within Seraph's reach of silence. The dragon's ear frills twitch, detecting the disruption, and it halts its movement, its gaze slowly sweeping back to where it once lay.
I see the dragon growing suspicious and halt my flame, allowing it to dim and disperse. Quickly, I conjure a larger, more captivating burst of flame further away from us, letting it dance and crackle with radiant heat and colors to recapture its attention. "Come on, big guy, follow the blaze," I coax, hoping to lure it even further into the cavern.
I grip my teeth as the dragon's gaze turns back, gripping my shield tighter. Seeing Pyra's quick actions, I quietly position myself closer to Wisp and the horde, raising my shield higher to be ready to shield them if things go south. Keep your heads low and be ready to move if it turns back again.
Seeing Pyra's larger flame catch the dragon's attention again, I stealthily slip another small, valuable-looking trinket into my pocket, making sure to stay within the shadows and avoid any sudden movements.
I kneel, extending my hand towards Thoradin, invoking Kelemvor's name to cast Bless upon him, Wisp and Pyra, fortifying their resolve and sharpening their senses. In the shadow of death's embrace, let courage and clarity guide your steps, I intone softly.
37. The dragon's eyes, lava pools of suspicion, lock onto the new, vibrant flame. It hesitates for a moment, conflicted between its instinct to guard its hoard and the allure of the flickering light. With a low, menacing growl that rumbles through the cavern, it slowly begins to move towards Pyra's new flame. However, a faint, almost imperceptible crunch under Wisp's foot causes it to stop abruptly and snap its head around with a predatory glare, now fully aware of the intruders in its lair. Tension crackles in the air like a storm about to break.
Seeing the dragon snap its head towards us with a predatory glare, I quickly summon a firewall between us and the dragon, creating a barrier of roaring flames and intense heat to distract and deter it while we recalibrate our plans. Time to change the game, I shout, bracing for whatever comes next.
I rush to position myself in front of the party, raising my shield and letting out a booming roar to draw the dragon's attention towards me. Come, you overgrown lizard, fight someone your own size.
Seeing Thoradin's brave attempt to draw the dragon's attention, I quickly dash towards a more secluded corner of the lair, using the stalactites and shadows for cover, while shouting, "Catch me if you can, you big scaly teddy bear," to further incite the dragon's focus away from Pyra and Seraph.
I raise my holy symbol, focus on the dragon, and intone a prayer to Kelemvor, calling upon the domain of death to cast bane on the dragon, seeking to sap its power and weaken its resolve. The inevitability of death shadows us all. Let this be your reminder.
The dragon's eyes flash with a cold, ruthless determination as it roars in fury, the bellow echoing through the cavern. The firewall Pyra conjured flickers as it lunges through it, the heat barely slowing its advance towards the party. Thoradin's taunt draws its ire, and with a swift, terrifying motion it swipes its massive claw, connecting with his shield and sending him sprawling backward against the cavern wall, bruised but conscious. Meanwhile, Seraph's incantation weaves through the dragon's rage, sapping some of its strength and agility, but its fury is far from tempered. The battlefield is now alight with tension, firelight casting ominous shadows while the dragon's growls and sporadic wing beats create a chaotic, rattling symphony.
Seeing Thoradin thrown back and the dragon barreling through the firewall with minimal resistance, I take a deep breath and channel my inner fire, summoning a massive, swirling vortex of flames to envelop the dragon, hoping to both harm it and create a visual barrier to obscure its sight. "Feel the inferno!" I yell, hoping to create enough disruption for the party to regroup.
I shake off the impact from the dragon's swipe, forcing myself to my feet and repositioning my shield. With a growl, I charge toward the dragon's legs, aiming to slam my shield against its knee joint in an attempt to destabilize it. "You've picked the wrong battle, beast."
Seeing the chaos unfold and realizing the dragon's energy is now split between Pyra's fiery distraction and Thoradin's fearless assault, I quickly assess my surroundings for any environmental advantages. Spotting a cluster of heavy-looking stalactites above the dragon, I decide to climb up to them, aiming to cut the large ones down and make them crash onto the dragon. "Time to bring the house down," I whisper, as I silently ascend towards the stalactites.
I step forward, clutching my holy symbol tightly, and with a slow, deliberate gesture, cast spiritual weapon, summoning an ethereal scythe above the dragon's head, which then swings down with grim precision to strike at it. Feel the cold edge of inevitability.
The dragon's roar splits the air as Pyra's fiery vortex wraps around it, scorching its azure scales and causing it to thrash wildly. Thoradin's shield bash connects with its knee, making the dragon's leg buckle momentarily, but the beast quickly regains its footing, its anger fueled further by the cleric's spiritual weapon slicing a bloody gash across its back. Spotting Wisp's silhouette against the cavern wall, the dragon lunges upward with a terrifying leap, its maw opening wide to send forth a torrent of white-hot flame in an attempt to incinerate the ascending rogue. Searing heat fills the cavern, casting dancing shadows and creating an intense contrast between light and dark, life and imminent death.
Seeing the dragon unleash a deadly torrent of flames towards Wisp, I raise my hands and combine both fire and air magic to conjure a powerful countercurrent, creating a swirling, blazing tornado that intercepts and diverts the dragon's fire away. "Not today, Scaly!" I shout defiantly, ensuring my spell shields Wisp from the inferno.
I dig my heels into the rocky floor and charge again, this time aiming to grapple onto the dragon's tail, intending to pull it down and restrict its movement. "Stay put, you blasted beast!"
With the dragon's focus momentarily diverted and Pyra's tornado shielding me from the intense heat, I extend a dagger to use as a lever and quickly slice through the base of the largest stalactite, sending it crashing down onto the dragon below. "Let's see if you like having the ceiling on your head," I shout from above, hoping to cause significant damage and buy more time for our escape.
Seeing the dragon's wrath redirected and the team defying the odds, I raise my holy symbol high and cast mass healing word to mend Thoradin's bruises and reinvigorate the party. In the shadow of death, we find renewal and strength.
The collision of Wisp's broken stalactite shatters onto the dragon's back, eliciting a bellow of pain and fury. The mighty creature stumbles, its wings sending trembling gusts throughout the cavern. But it is far from subdued. With a furious roar, it whips around and lashes at Thoradin with its tail, catching him off guard and slamming him into the cavern wall once more. Blood trickles down the dwarf's forehead, the beast's relentless assault leaving him grievously wounded.
I see Thoradin gravely hurt and filled with rage. I swiftly channel my fire magic and draw upon the power of the earth beneath us, summoning a stream of molten magma to surge up from the ground and snake towards the dragon's feet, aiming to immobilize it and cause grievous burns. "Stay down and burn!" I roar, directing the flow of the molten earth.
As I feel the dragon's tail slam me against the cavern wall, I grit my teeth and force myself to stand. Blood trickles down my forehead, but the pain only fuels my determination. I lower my stance, grip my shield with both hands, and charge at the dragon's injured leg, aiming a powerful shield bash at its weakened knee joint to topple it and pin it in place. "You're not knocking me down that easily, beast!"
With the dragon's focus on Thoradin and Pyra's molten stream, I take advantage of the distraction to leap from my perch, rolling swiftly across the ground to approach the dragon from behind. Reaching into my pack, I pull out a vial of paralyzing poison, swiftly coating my dagger before attempting to stab it into the soft joint behind the dragon's foreleg, aiming to impair its movements. "Time for a little nap, Scaly," I whisper as I strike, hoping the poison takes effect.
As the dragon's rage continues to wreak havoc, I extend my arm and channel the divine power of Kelemvor, casting Guardian of Faith to summon a spectral towering figure of an armored knight with a gleaming scythe, positioning it right next to the dragon to defend our party and attack the beast. May this Guardian of Death's sanctity shield us and reap your malevolence.
The dragon, now cornered and wearied, roars with primal fury as Pyra's molten magma coils around its legs, making its scales sizzle. It thrashes wildly, but Thoradin's relentless shield bashed to its knee forces it to stagger and collapse, sending a shockwave through the cavern floor. Wisp's dagger finds its mark, injecting the paralyzing poison into the beast's vulnerable joint, causing its movements to become sluggish. As Seraph's spectral guardian materializes beside it, the dragon, now beset from all sides, exhales a final hissing breath before collapsing into darkness, the eerie luminescence of the crystals casting an otherworldly glow on its massive, defeated form.
I survey the fallen dragon with a mix of relief and lingering adrenaline, the flickering light of the decaying flames casting dramatic shadows across the cavern. With a wave of my hand, I extinguish the remaining fires, allowing the room to gradually cool. I then stride confidently towards the treasure hoard, a smirk playing on my lips. Well, that was quite the dance. Let's see if our efforts were worth it, I say, ready to sift through the treasure for anything valuable or useful to our party.
I take a moment to catch my breath, leaning on my shield for support as the adrenaline starts to fade and the pain sets in. With a grimace, I wipe the blood off my forehead and force myself upright. "We did it, lads and lasses," I mutter through gritted teeth, pushing forward to inspect the fallen dragon and ensure it's truly down for good. "Let's make sure we've earned our prize." With my axe in hand, I give the dragon a cautious poke to confirm it's no longer a threat, before turning my attention to the glittering hoard.
Seeing the dragon finally subdued, I allow myself a triumphant grin as I sheathe my dagger. I then swiftly dart towards the treasure hoard, pockets at the ready, calling out, "All right, team, let's see what shinies this big lizard was hiding from us," and begin selecting the most valuable-looking items.
I rise to my feet, clutching my holy symbol and invoking Kelemvor's name, to cast prayer of healing upon the entire party, mending our wounds from the fierce battle. In every end, we find the chance for renewal. Stand tall, my friends, for we are not done yet.